What a huge day in the Call of the Wild community today on Expansive World stream. The Great One Moose was revealed in a bunch of different fur varieties and rack variations, and I cannot wait to dive in and just take a look at them. And we're just going to go through basically everything today is going to be Great One focused, and we'll take a look at the information we learned. So first off, I wanted to address this straight away. I believe Beard said on stream this particular variation is not actually a Great One fur. And ultimately, he ended up shooting one of them, and it turned out to be a mocha fur type in the harvest screen. So what I think happened was, that was a Great One rack, not an actual Great One fur. So that's the Te Awaroa mission fur. I just wanted to mention that because this particular fur variation is going to be on screen a good bit during this. And as far as I know, it's not actually one we can get, but there is a similar one. What that does, though, is we also had a common fur type 1 spawned in. I don't think that's going to be possible either. I think every Great One Moose is going to have some type of unique fur. But it does give us the chance to talk about the rack, which I really like the approach they went with here. Kind of a non-typical rack, but generally still a fairly typical frame. You got the drop tines coming off the back, you got all the different tines, and kind of a lack of palmation, which I thought was a really neat approach. The idea behind a Great One for me is something that's been out there, you know, avoiding hunters for forever and grows into this insane, unlikely animal, and to me that's kind of what this rack symbolizes. But now we get to see a fur type and rack combo that will actually exist, and this one is the Fabled spruce, which has a rack, I believe, that was shown in an Expansive World social media post, and they had it on a common. I think that was an attempt to not make it extremely obvious, but I really recognize those super long tines, and I love the combo here. I think it should be possible to get this fur with other racks and this rack on other furs, but it just fits so well. The lighter coloration on the antlers, the lighter colored body, it's just such a cool looking thing. Again, the idea of Great One, this fits it perfectly. We then move right to the next fur type, which was called the Fabled two-tone, and I mentioned earlier one that looked kind of like the mocha. This is it, very similar to a piebald variation, but I like the idea that they went with, kind of like half and half, and obviously got the same rack as the first one. Beard did say on stream he wasn't sure if he showed all the racks. I actually hope that he didn't. Just the idea of there being something undiscovered out there still, and the amount of furs there are. I wouldn't be shocked if there's more racks than we got to see, but I like that they went with something similar to a piebald. We had the red deer and the whitetail. Both of those had a piebald or piebald-esque fabled fur type, and I like that they've kind of continued that trend with the moose. Next up is the Fabled birch, and again the same rack, kind of almost albino, but a little bit sort of darker in color. And I really like two things about this. Number one, just the fur itself. It looks really, really good. Almost kind of like a normal rare again, but just a little bit more special, which again, I think that's what Great One fur type should be. The other thing I wanted to mention though, is the idea of kind of naming them after trees. If there is one species in all of Call of the Wild with over 70 animals in the game that should kind of have the relation to trees, it's a Great One moose, and everything just fits so perfectly. The parallels are just there for a massive animal like that, and of course having these giant antlers that could be akin to trees to begin with. I just think it's a really good idea, and we'll see it as we go forward. There are a couple other furs that are named after trees as well, and I just love the naming theme. Now this one I think is going to be quite popular. This is the Fabled ashen, and again, kind of sticking with the tree theme. Ash trees, ashen is a color, kind of that grayish sort of variation. I like that it's almost common, but it's just a little bit more special, again, similar to the mocha as well. But the same racks, we can focus entirely on the fur type, and if you look closely, there seems to be some kind of scarring on the shoulder and towards the back end of the moose, and we actually got to see that up close a little bit later. I'll put that on screen so you guys can see the scars a little bit better. I mean, again, this fabled animal that's been avoiding hunters for years and living out there has been in fights, no doubt, with other bull moose, and I like that they incorporated that with this. It just, again, the idea of Great Ones, I think they did such a fantastic job with this one in particular of fitting that theme. And now we get to the rack that really got me. I was not prepared for this, and this is actually almost exactly what I've always wanted in a Great One moose. You'll get this with moose very rarely, where they'll almost grow like two different palms, and that's kind of what they went with here, as we kind of get to see the next one that we'll take a look at in just one moment. But this one with the unique rack is the Fabled speckled fur type. I just love the idea. is such a cool looking rack. There's nothing else like it in the game. And the fur as well is similar to piebald, but not quite the same. And you've just got this incredible looking moose in the end. I think it's maybe my favorite of the bunch. And remember as well, the fur types in the antlers are not going to be always the exact same. You could get that fur with another rack or that rack on another fur, but I really do like that combo. But to get back on task, the last one, the Fabled Oak. Again, maybe my favorite fur type just because of the name. If there's a particular tree that should fit with a moose, it probably is an oak tree. And similar to the birch and the spruce, just that kind of lighter coloration, it really suits. I think the oak with the big light colored rack could be really, really cool. But just an incredible job by the devs making a bunch of super unique furs, and I'm really intrigued to see with the racks, because I bet it's not just the 3. Now, one other small thing that I noticed during the stream was that at one point, Jaxy did spot a Great One Moose, and we got to see the weight estimate of 605 to 700 kilos. Now, I don't think it's really a big deal to know the Great One estimate. If you see a weight that goes above the max, then you know you're good to go. But I like actually knowing exactly what to look for. And we know with the black bear, there are multiple Great One estimates. I was paying attention as Beard was claiming some of these and showing them in the harvest screens. I didn't see any that fell outside of that range, so I think that's going to be the weight estimate for all Great One moose. And I like that good round number of 700 kilos as the top. But it really is an incredible lineup of Great Ones that we got to see in today's stream, and Beard also was able to set them all to aggressive, and I thought that was kind of neat to get to see it. I think that may be something we attempt to do at some point, is get a Great One Moose to go aggressive, should we be able to find a Great One Moose. And it's just neat to see the animations and stuff with something of this size.
You can see what happens. You're gonna stop right there. Just you hold on. There's no chance in surviving this, right? Oh, there is a chance. There is a chance. If I can do it quick, we're going God mode. Come at me. Can you hurt me now? Can't do nothing to me. Yeah, not too shabby. Imagine sitting up in a stand and having one of these beautiful behemoths going aggressive and coming after you.
Now, I don't know if you'll be able to get them to go aggressive in a stand. I've not tried that. I mean, water buffalo and Cape buffalo would still go aggressive when in a tripod. It might be possible, and it could be pretty neat that there are stories of people climbing trees to escape moose, and they'll actually try to hit the tree and not just give up. But I think it is pretty neat to get to see the animations up close. I know we actually got to see it on last week's stream, but having been away and stuff, I didn't get to catch that, and this is my first time actually seeing it. Now, I don't know exactly what it looks like when a moose goes aggressive, but having seen deer fighting each other and kind of how they do that sideways staggering walk, I like to see that the moose do it as well, and I really like the animation they went for of the actual attack and what would actually do damage. I think it's pretty neat. We've been missing aggressive moose in the game, quite honestly, for the entirety of its existence. Moose were one of the original species, and now that we have it, I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it really opens up some potential for neat things to do when trying to take a Great One. That's been a popular thing throughout the community, is coming up with unique ways to actually take a Great One. A charging moose, while actually charging, difficult shot, challenging shot, no doubt, but a really cool way to do it if someone can pull it off. I don't know that I'll be trying to do that. Probably going to stick with the try to take it with the bow strategy, but I think it could be quite neat. But that is the coverage of today's stream based on the Great Ones. There's some other stuff we got to see, the weapon skins up close and all that. I may do another video talking about other things related to this update, but I really wanted to focus on the Great Ones today, and I'm so glad that they've done this much with the variety. I think they're going to be an absolute blast. There are, of course, the options to do 3 separate Great One grinds in the mountains of New England, and still, if it's not the best grinding map, we've got moose all over the place, and I cannot wait to see the Great Ones posted throughout the community as these grinds start to work out for people. But in the meantime, we have some time to wait until that map comes out, and along with it, the Great One moose that we got to see today. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video, so as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.